They say the forests of Vermont hold secrets that can swallow a person whole, that the fog moves differently there, as if it's alive. And despite all the warnings, some people still wander too far and never return. It was the summer of 1947 when, for friends David, Sarah, Thomas, and Lillian, decided to explore the remote wilderness near Glastonbury Mountain. They were fascinated by the local stories of missing hikers, strange lights in the night, and unexplainable disappearances. They weren't thrill seekers. They were just curious, ordinary townsfolk drawn in by whispers of the unknown. The locals called the area the Bennington Triangle, and everyone warned them. People go in. They don't come out, said the gas station owner as he handed them their maps. But curiosity outweighed caution. By dusk, they had hiked deep into the woods, their laughter masking the tension that grew with every rustle of leaves. The air was dense, and the fog crept along the ground like a living creature. Thomas joked about ghosts, while Lillian snapped pictures of the scenery, oblivious to the shadows stretching unnaturally between the trees. As night fell, the friends set up camp near a small clearing. The fire crackled, shadows dancing over their faces, but none of them could shake the feeling that they were being watched. Then it started. It was subtle at first, just a faint glow flickering between the trees. Sarah was the first one to notice it. "Look," she whispered, pointing. "There. Someone's there." But when they all squinted through the darkness, the light vanished. David laughed nervously. "Probably just a reflection or a firefly," he said, but the unease in their stomachs told a different story. Then came the sound, a low, almost mechanical hum that seemed to vibrate the very air itself. The friends exchanged worried glances. The hum grew louder, surrounding them, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once. Lillian, clutching her camera, noticed her flashlight's beam was bending, as if the light itself was being pulled toward the fog. At midnight, Thomas wandered a few feet from the camp to gather water. When he didn't return after a few minutes, the others started calling his name. Only silence answered. Moments later, a shadow moved across the clearing. It was too fast, too fluid, unlike any animal they knew. Sarah screamed as it dashed past the fire, and when they looked for Thomas, he was gone. Panic set in. David wanted to leave immediately, but the paths they had followed all seemed to twist back on themselves. No matter which way they went, the trees looked the same. The fog grew thicker, the air heavier. Lillian's camera caught brief glimpses of something indistinct and dark, moving at the very edge of their vision, not human, not entirely animal. Hours passed, or maybe they say it was impossible to tell in the thick, disorienting fog. Time moved strangely here, as if it was warped by the mountain itself. Stumbling through the woods, the friends came upon a small cabin, abandoned and decaying. The windows were broken, the door hanging from its hinges, yet a thin curl of smoke rose from the chimney, as if someone had just left. Inside, the cabin held remnants of previous visitors. A torn jacket, a single boot with the sole ripped off, and a notebook filled with bizarre symbols. Lillian flipped through it, her heart pounding, trying to understand the markings. They didn't resemble any language she'd ever seen. One page was smeared with what looked like blood, not fresh, but not old either. Suddenly, a whisper echoed through the cabin. "Leave. Now?" No one had said a word. The sound was cold, like ice, brushing across their skin. The friends ran back into the forest, but the trees themselves seemed to shift around them. Paths that once led back to their clearing now spiraled inward, trapping them deeper and deeper in the unknown. The fog thickened to a blinding white, and then shapes emerged from it. Tall, black, faceless figures that seemed to glide, not walk. Each figure moved in complete silence, yet the friends could feel their gaze. A cold, heavy pressure. David, in a fit of panic, tried to swing a heavy branch at one of them. His arms passed right through it, as if through smoke, yet the temperature around him plummeted. Sarah stumbled and fell. When she looked up, Lillian and David were no longer beside her. She was surrounded by nothing but shadows. And then she heard Thomas's voice, calling her name from a direction she didn't recognize. But when she ran toward it, the voice became distorted, inhuman, a twisted mimicry. The friends were separated. Time itself fractured, moments stretched into an eternity. The forest wasn't just alive. It was sentient. It was testing them, toying with them, feeding on their fear. Weeks later, search parties scoured the mountain but found nothing, no footprints, no signs of a struggle, no body. All they found were a few abandoned belongings. A single boot, a shattered flashlight, and Lillian's camera. When the film from the camera was developed, the images revealed impossible things. There were photos of the friends standing in the clearing with massive shadows looming over them, their faces frozen in terrayet. None of them would have remembered those figures being there. Some images were distorted, with faces elongated and limbs twisted. Others showed backgrounds that shouldn't exist. One photo captured a large, glowing eye in the sky, watching over them. Another showed the reflection of a dark figure standing behind the camera, but no one had been there. The local whisper started again. The forest was cursed. Those who entered the Bennington Triangle sometimes returned, but they were changed. Others simply disappeared, their stories merging with the mountain itself, forever unrecorded by time. Over the years, several theories have emerged to explain the strange events. One paranormal explanation suggests the triangle is a portal to another dimension, one where time and space don't exist normally. People who enter are simply absorbed by the forest itself. A more natural explanation proposes that the fog contains toxic gases that cause powerful hallucinations and disorientation, leading people to vanish into hidden ravines or deep bodies of water. Some even believe it was a government cover-up, that the disappearances were actually secret experiments. During the post-war era, testing mind control or other advanced technologies. And then there's the theory that the forest itself is conscious and ancient, living entity that feeds on human fear. Each theory has its holes. Each mystery remains unsolved. But what is certain is that the forest does not forget, and it never truly lets go. Decades later, the strange occurrences continue. Hikers report seeing odd lights, distorted shadows, and having all their electronic devices suddenly fail. Tourists claim their GPS and compasses go haywire the moment they enter the area. A lone hiker in 2018 returned with terrifying stories of whispers and footsteps following him through empty clearings. Authorities later found his campsite abandoned, with only a notebook left behind, filled with the same strange symbols Lillian had found in that cabin all those years ago. Even today, the Bennington Triangle continues to draw curious souls. Some leave forever changed. Some don't leave at all. Cameras still capture flickers, shadows, and inexplicable movements. And no matter how advanced our technology becomes, the forest seems untouched by it. A powerful reminder that some mysteries are far beyond human comprehension. So if you ever find yourself wandering into the forests of Vermont, remember these. The triangle doesn't just hide its secrets, it watches, it waits, and it decides who stays and who disappears. Curiosity may kill the cat, but here, it might just trap you forever. And when that fog rolls in, you might just see the same shadows that consumed Thomas, Lillian, Sarah, and David. And you will finally understand why the locals never speak of the Bennington Triangle aloud. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next mystery.